Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to Knee Deep in the Gillan-verse, otherwise known as the UK connection. See, guys, I got it. See, we had a whole deal
Fantastic.
about this beforehand. Let me introduce the crew, of course. Simon Bray and Steven Reid in the house. The Bray dog is here,
Yes.
and that guy from Scotland, otherwise known as Steven Reid, right? What's up, gentlemen?
Otherwise known as many things that can't be repeated right now.
That's correct. That's correct. So. We are ready to dive into the Gillan-verse today, and we're pretty excited about it, I think, as I adjust my volume because it looks like I was a little low. I think we're good now. All right, cool. But before we start talking about Ian Gillan and his various bands and solo things, Simon, we got a little business to take care of first. What are you drinking?
Because you forced me, even though I'm not very well, because you ordered me to, because you're in charge, because it's your channel. Um, I have never
I
had,
recommended he not have anything, just for the record. So.
that actually is true. And then I thought, all those people that like to complain about the beer shit, well, there
Plus
you
the
go.
Bray
So,
Dog has a reputation to uphold here, right? I mean, it's
yes, indeed. So I have never had the pale ale version of Trooper because I
oh
think it's new. Yeah, it's new. And now I'm about to have it. And I'm so uncouth and so poorly. I'm just going to drink it out of the bottle. I know.
wow.
Mm, okay, yeah. That's 100% fine. It's, really, really fine. It's like a middling Iron Maiden kind of album, you know what I mean? It's all right. It's not as good as the original Trooper. I'm going to assume that, Bruce went to Southport, not Stockport, had a look round, came up with some hops and fuggles and shit like that, and then pretended that this is like the newest and greatest thing of all time. But it's all right. It's absolutely fine.
Dance of Death?
Oh, that
Not
much
that
better,
bad.
Better
much
than
better,
that? Okay.
much better cover than Dance of Death, which is
He's
more
not
the
just fallen sideways.
yeah. So yeah, Dance of Death maybe. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
But the last one, Sun Jitsu, that was all right. I haven't listened to it for years, but there you go. Fine.
So, Stephen, we are rating for Iron Maiden albums today, just so.
Oh, okay.
I know, right now. So,
I'd
okay.
not anticipated that, but there you go. So I was going for a Gillan alter ego because many moons ago he was Jesus Christ Superstar.
He was.
He was, yeah. So what could be better to drink than Monty Python's Search for the Holy Grail? See, it's tenuous, but I'm trying here. I'm absolutely trying here. So I've got to say thank you to my mate Dave, who was down in Yorkshire, came back with this. This is from already forgetting the Black Sheep Brewery in Yorkshire. I've got to read you some of the blurb on here because this is Monty Python's Holy Grail British Pale Ale, tempered over burning witches. Okay. And we also on the back it says it's a light golden beer with a fresh, zesty taste and a long, crisp, bitter finish. Goes beautifully with spam, albatross, or battered herring. Okay, so it's building itself up here. It's very cool, I have to say. So thank you, Dave. Dave's also a regular viewer, and he also got me a spangly glass. Look at this. See, it did have a fabulous head before I started talking. There you go.
Yep, lost the moment there, didn't I?
Yeah, I think so.
Just going to say I've been there. I've been to the Black Sheep. Yeah, yeah. Don't get on with. Is it Theakston's? It's in the same village. Don't get on at all. No, 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 no,
No,
no.
but did I miss something there? Was I not paying attention to the Bray Dog?
I was waving. Say, I want.
He was
I've got.
raising his hand for quite a while, but
Was he?
Yeah,
See, I'm an expert at ignoring that.
I've quite literally been there and got the t-shirt.
That's fine. Is that as interesting as your story got?
Yeah, really
That's
is.
fine. I'm
I
glad you
will
could
say
hear
it's very nice of you gentlemen getting all these beer gifts, and I'm still waiting on my beer from our friend in Australia.
he did come back and say if you wanted something to reply to him in the comments.
Oh, he's sending it to me. He keeps stating it
He's
arrived, it
saying it.
arrived. I haven't gotten anything yet. So that
There you
as
go.
of right now, he is the only person who has offered to,
Hmm.
be kind enough to send me beer. All my friends here in the States who probably it would cost them next to nothing to mail me some beer. Not that I'm really asking or I'm begging for beer, but it's you guys get a lot of beer.
It would appear you are
Begging. Maybe I am just a little
the
bit.
best. I like this
I
a
can't
lot.
afford my own beer. I certainly can, but it'd be cool to get cool beer from like Oregon or somewhere else, you know, like you guys get all sorts of cool beers from all over the place, huh?
Oregon?
Oregon.
Oregon?
Oregon, Oregon,
Oregon.
Is that
Oregon.
is that is that near Gloucester? No?
Uh,
Okay.
Anyway,
Portland, sorry.
this is very nice. Thank you. This is very nice. It hits you quite hard actually, and I really quite like it. So it's not out and out classic, but it's enough to make you go, "Oh, wow, that's good." So it's Brave New World. There you go.
That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. I like Brave New World.
Hmm.
So, once again, because that's how we roll here, because nobody buys me any beer. I've got a beer once again from the Source Brewing Company in New Jersey, because my brother is the one who always remembers to bring my beer. I've got a Weiss beer, which is a German style Hefeweizen ale. Hefeweizen, let me say it the correct way. 5.6 alcohol. Tin looks like this. Now you guys got me. I would normally say can. I'm saying tin now. Oh boy, I'm hanging around you two dudes more, way too much. Fresh from the source, and it looks like this. All right, so it's kind of, does it smell like a Hefeweizen? Smells like a German Pilsner or a lager or something. Oh, it does taste like a Hefeweizen. So if you like that kind of, I don't even know what you call this kind of flavor. Hefeweizens have a very distinct flavor. That's not bad. I'm not a huge fan of this style, but it's not bad. I would give this that's a Senjutsu for me. Solid.
Yeah,
May not return to it often, but it's pretty solid,
that's a good analogy. I like that because
right?
I would agree with that with Senjutsu as well.
Yeah, I like Senjutsu, but
It has grown on me.
yeah, yeah. And it's good. It's light. It's just I've never been a big fan of that whatever that flavor that Hefeweizen beers have. Like I could probably not drink more than one of those in a sitting because it's just like it's okay, but like after like three-quarters, I'm kind of like yeah. Same thing with Senjutsu. After I get like kind of three-quarters of the way through that album, I'm like yeah, maybe I'll just put on Peace of Mind next, right? I don't dislike what I'm hearing, but I'm like I think I'll listen to the rest of this another day and maybe 3 months from now, that sort of thing. So anyway, cheers, gentlemen. As we move off into the Gillan-verse, I've already forgotten what we said at the beginning of the episode. What are we calling this again?
Knee deep in the
Knee deep in the
Gillan-verse.
Gillan-verse. See? I told you I was going to forget it pretty quickly.
Yes. Before we embark upon into the Gillan-verse, and this is something I've been meaning to say for quite a while. When we do this, favorite, least favorite, wild card kind of thing, which, and I can't stress this enough, is not a ranking show. No,
Mhm,
no,
No.
no, no,
mhm.
no, no, absolutely not. What I've found is, and I thought about this about 3 o'clock this morning. Um, it kind of, and I don't know about you, sounds the death knell for these artists for me. I was thinking this morning, I have not listened to Rainbow, Survivor, Iron Maiden, um, or practically anybody that we've done this to, foreign no, just not listened to them since that really intense period of listening to them, and that's it. It's like killing them off for ZZ Top. No, just killing them off for me is this really interesting thing while we're doing it, but then go think, all right, I need some time away from these people.
And then the time away turns out to be a long time away, right?
It has been for some of them, hasn't it?
I mean, you
It's
could break that. You could just say, fuck it. I'm going to listen to Rainbow today and just regardless, but maybe
did bring
there's no
some Rainbow
desire to,
CDs
right?
down the other day, so they're ready and primed. I thought, right, I'm going to go for it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I get it because I think when I do the ranking shows, I go through the same thing. It's like, I'm immersing myself into a catalog for like weeks on end, and I'm just kind of like, all right, that's it. I don't need to see or hear these for however long. But so I get that. I get that.
I
Uh,
think there's a whole other show here because, and I don't want to open this door because it will change what we're doing in the show. I would be embarrassed to tell you how little time I spend delving back into classic bands in general. I haven't seen even the bands that you've even spoken about there, Simon. I would suggest it's rare that I listen to these albums before we do the ranking. Then I listen to them intently for the ranking or the favourite, least favourite, whatever it is we're doing.
That's
And then
it.
you can put away again. I am always probably focused on the here and now
Mm.
New
than I
stuff.
am,
I would agree with you. I think probably 80% of what I listen to is new stuff on a
yeah,
regular.
or new purchases, not necessarily all new
New
releases.
to us.
New to me
Right.
is
Yes.
the
It's a
top of my list.
combination of the two, right? New to us, new stuff, and new to us, old stuff that we never heard before.
Yes,
Right?
and show prep. Not that I do the same amount of shows as you, Pete, but those are the things that kind of build my daily listening. Um, and yeah, I mean, bands that people would presume that I listen to a lot, I probably haven't listened to in a long time, most of them. But there you
Mm.
go. I see, there's a different show there that we're going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah,
We could
just
dissect it.
yeah.
Yep. That's a good point, Simon.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
That is,
Would you like me to step into the Gillan-verse?
Yes.
Okay.
And get
Oh,
knee deep if you would.
I'm going to get knee deep in the verse. Gillan. Yes, indeed. Gillan were like, in my mind, for quite a period, especially when I was about, 15, 16 at school, Gillan were a singles act.
hmm.
And for quite a period, they were never off top of the pops. And you think, oh, Gillan, they had a lot of hit singles, didn't they? Yes, they did. There's so many hit singles. Let's just have a look, shall we? Because, they were always on the pops. Oh, Trouble, 14. Mutually Assured Destruction, 32. New Orleans, 17. No Laughing in Heaven, 31. Nightmare, 36. Restless, 25. Living for the City, 50. Turns out they weren't a singles act by any stretch of the imagination, but they were on top of the pops quite a lot. And they had that big, scary, fat, bald man, didn't they, as well? He was,
Mhm. John McCoy.
yeah. Oh.
That me you're talking about.
And the singer was slightly wild and weird, and he had long hair, and it's 1979, and well, that's Johnny Rotten. No, that's and so a very interesting band I arrived at through the singles that weren't hits. But it reminds us that in the past we did all have this kind of like shared culture that even if most people didn't go out and buy Gillan albums or singles, that they'd probably sing them.
Yeah.
Whereas these days, like, as we discussed before, who is I don't know. Who's Sabrina Carpenter? I don't know. So yeah. So anyhow, this has been
And
an
somehow it just dawned on me, somehow after saying all that, we should have discussed this band and that two-part episode we did recently because the Gillan Band did absolutely nothing here. No singles, barely, I think, played here once, one tour, I think, if memory serves me. You couldn't even find these albums in the record stores. So again, they weren't
I'm,
huge over by you,
yeah,
but still.
I'm not sure that everything got released in the US initially, though.
I would see these in import racks. That's
That's part of the problem. And interestingly, and this was one of the things that inspired this episode, was the reissue that came out, which I bought because I don't have the Japanese album or Gillan or whatever you kind of want to call it at that point. But there are, when you look at the bonus tracks, so all the stuff below the red lines on these,
yep.
there are a lot of singles
Oh yeah.
that are on albums. Interestingly enough,
I
that
have the
band,
Eds, I have the original Edsel reissues from a few years back, that all had
yeah, the cool
the
sleeves.
space on the side, and basically everything that's on these is in that box set that you have. So all the singles, all the extra stuff, yeah, live stuff, yeah, it's great. I mean, you need everything, right?
Yeah.
Because as Simon said, there was all this extra stuff that didn't make the original album. So you buy that box set or these reissues, and you get everything basically.
Mhm.
Oh, but you still get those people who say, well, they haven't put on Smoke on the Water from the eighth night on in the Budokan or whatever. Really? You
Do we
just showing
really
off
need that?
you're just showing off that you've got that single, and that nobody else bought. You just
Yeah.
show. Anyhow, right, let's step into the Gillan-verse, shall we?
Yes.
Um, um, Previously, I think I said on the last episode that sometimes an album sits there and waits and comes to you for quite some time thereafter. And Mr. Universe is very much one of those. forgot how much I like Mr. Universe and how much I've always liked it, but not listened to it for quite a while. Until probably before we said we would do the Gillan thing. This is a really good record. Terrible cover.
Yes.
Terrible. What are we wearing? What are we wearing? Okay. Um, Not a great back cover either, to be brutally honest.
That was
But
probably taken at the same session as Love Beach by ELP. In fact, the guys in ELP are standing right off to the left there. If you could just picture it, right?
Yeah, no wet patch, thankfully.
don't think you're going to get Mr. Universe, Ian. No, but anyway. And the thing about this album and my other album, let's take them as a pair show. Future Shock, I love Future Shock. It's a great record. Is that there's a sense with Gillan the band of they don't give a shit. This pop culture is going on over here. Oh, you
Hmm.
disco and you punk and heading towards new romantics and stuff like that, and we don't care because we're going to do whatever we want. Are we going to have like an unbelievably brilliant keyboard player just playing all over everything? Yes, yes, we are. Are we going to have a singer that screams as if he used to be in Deep Purple? Well, yes, we are as well. I know we are. And there's that absolute sense of, other people are doing what they want to do, but we're just going to do this. And then, we all know that they couldn't get arrested for a period, and they ended up on Acrobat Records. Didn't I? I don't own anything else on Acrobat Records. Just nothing. No. And I thought to myself at one point. Hey, this is worth something. No, so I went to get Discogs where I am banned from. And you can get, about 38 at £2.36, and I was so disappointed. Because this record deserves more, Second Sight, Secret of the Dance, You Turned Me Up. The title song itself is
Oh,
great.
yeah.
It's a Vengeance is way really, really good. Fighting Man, it makes sense. Just really, really good. Um, it's not metal. It's
It's close. It's
it's
close.
close. It's not quite. It it's not that purpley, but it's nearly purple. I don't know why my lighting has changed. Not a clue. That's I know. I've gone old Coldplay, haven't I? Gone old yellow. But it's a really, really good, fun record. Like we don't care. Just listen to this. Go from start to finish. And in some ways as well, so is Future Shock. So this is Colin Towns' album to me, and this is Bernie Torme's album to me because he comes from a completely different place as the rest of the band, doesn't
Yeah.
he comes from your more punky new wavy kind of thing, and this is just tremendous. Tremendous record. Great cover as well, where at least one of them looks like he should be in Molly Hatchet.
Hmm.
I never thought of it that way. Yeah.
That's Dave Lubeck, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Really, I'm just saying, this is such a good record.
Yep.
There you go. Yes, indeed. Um,
Would you say, Simon, God, the more I think about it, would you say that this band is this coming together of all these musicians who seemingly on paper shouldn't work well together, and they created some brilliant noise together that
that is
really was very different than
exactly
everything
it.
else that was going on? Yeah.
Exactly it. This is such a good record. I love No Laughing in Heaven, and I just, I viscerally remember talking about this in the quadrant at school and talking about it and really, really enjoying it. And it's like those kind of memories that makes this one of my favorites. Is it the best? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what actually is the best album in the Gillan-verse. But it says, "Hey Simon, that's what you were doing and what you were listening to at 15 years of age." Yeah. Also, whilst we're on the Gillan thing, and I will shut up in a minute. Um, in the day job, we do this thing where we have to spelling test the kids, And I did this the other week, and everybody looks at me like I was weird. And so what you do is you say, okay, dog. The dog chased the cat. Spell dog. Dog. Okay. Got it? Yeah. Yeah. Jump. Yeah. Van Halen made a song called, no, that's not true. Jump. No jump. Yeah. And I did this like women. Not swimming. Women. And the entire room turned around and looked at me like I was the weirdest person of all time. But I had a right good time. And the kid failed. But that's not important right now. Yeah. And it must be what, 40 years since that song was out and about. So yeah, kind of sticks with you, doesn't it, this stuff?
Did you get to see the Gillan Band early on? No?
I've done because the dogs are barking.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen them.
Yeah,
But yeah, I was, well, they never came here, but if they came here, I might have been able to catch them very early on towards the end because I think by the time I was already going to concerts hot and heavy, he was finishing up with Gillan and ready to move into Black Sabbath. So it's kind of like a very small window there, but they never came here, so it didn't matter anyway. So
roughly at the time that was happening, I was either probably 9 or 10 years old.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
no, I did not see Gillan.
I knew you wouldn't have, yeah. So how about at solo? Did you ever did you play
Nope,
a lot? No? Okay. I've
no,
never seen him solo either.
I did.
No. Okay.
Only seen him with Purple a few times. There we go. Right. Lyrics are an interesting thing, and I'm not going to read many out because there are some bad lyrics in this catalogue.
Oh yeah.
And there's some. It's funny how some guys really get kind of tarred with that sexist nonsense lyrics. I'm not going to read out things that are in because the bad ones are terrible. They're absolutely terrible. And in this day and age, let's not close the channel down. They are that bad.
He has
Some of
been
these.
very lucky. He has not been called out on a lot of this stuff
He
over
has
his
not been.
career.
Whereas a certain Mr. Coverdale and various things and other have all been completely. That's all they're kind of known for in certain circles.
Yeah.
The lyrics that are worse. At least old Dave tried to kind of at least entendre them in some way. They are, for want of a better turn of phrase, in your face here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's not go any further than that. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb. I wasn't going to say this, but seeing as you've asked the question, I will go as far as to say this is one of my favourites. Okay. I also think it's the best across all of the Gillan catalogue.
I
But
would
there you
agree.
go.
I would agree.
That's my humble opinion. Mr. Universe, it's just a fantastic album. Really unsung. You've hit the nail on the head, Simon. It's one of those albums that I just can't work out why nobody talks about it anymore. Do you know, it just doesn't seem to have that cachet in any shape or form. Going through this is interesting because I bought this in the main because I didn't have the Japanese album. Okay. Half of the songs end up on this.
Yep.
I think 3 out of those 5 are re-recorded. Wow, are they so much better? They're so much better.
Oh yeah.
They have absolutely found themselves by this stage.
There's a big difference between the two lineups that recorded both those albums. Big,
Yes.
a huge difference. Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. If, and let's not get too far ahead of myself here, if there was one word that I would use to describe the whole Gillan-verse, it's unfocused.
Yeah.
Okay? It is all over the place. And yes, Simon is correct. You can sometimes describe that as, for want of a better turn of phrase, people not giving a fuck. That's what this album is, and it works. There are some albums where it doesn't. You're in the middle of a hard rock album and suddenly it boogie woogies for 5 minutes and then we move on somewhere else. At times, this band turn into a melodic rock outfit and you go, who's this? Why? And it's like for 3 or 4 minutes and then they stop. And then on some albums, they start again and it's just weird in that sense. You get flute for no apparent reason. Do you know, it is absolutely all over the place. This album is definitely that guy from Deep Purple, but it doesn't sound like Deep Purple, but it kind of does in places. There are little moments where you kind of go, this could be on Fireball, you know? When things are going, and you think, okay, I know what you're trying to do here. There are moments where Bernie kind of goes, I don't know, have you heard of a guy called Richie? I might have heard of a guy called Richie. But it's in little snippets. It's really quite clever. This album gives you enough touching points that you kind of go, oh, this is the solo album I wanted from that guy.
You know what the similarities are, Stephen? Bernie has that element of danger in his playing, just like Richie. There's not many guys that have that. Bernie, half the time you never know where he's going to go in his solos and stuff. Richie was the same way. I think that's because they don't sound alike at all,
No,
but they have this kind of wildness, this like reckless abandon that infiltrates their playing quite often. And I think that's the one similar. I think he was perfect for Ian and this band at that time. Absolutely perfect.
absolutely. I think that's a really good way of putting it because with some of the solos, I mean, you do now, but when you first heard these songs or the first 5 or 6 times you heard these songs, you don't quite know where he's going to go. There is that element of hold on, just hold on tight, hold on tight. He's going to go wherever he goes, and I'm on board. I'm sold, absolutely sold. The only thing I could do without is, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Puget Sound.
Puget Sound, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I like Puget Sound. That's a good
It's
answer.
okay. It's just, it brings things down just that little notch. It's the only kind of chink that's here for me. The rest of it is great. I mean, the groove and the potency of Dead of Night, absolutely fantastic. Do you know? I like Message in a Bottle. That hits really hard. And on the back side of the album here, the front side is just absolutely fantastic. And then Fighting Man, 7 minutes and 28 seconds. That's a fantastic song.
Oh yeah.
And it's perfect for a man's voice. It is just so good. This is a great album. I'm going to put my neck out and say this is up there with the best thing that any member of Deep Purple did outside of Deep Purple.
100%.
That's how good this album is. And if you
And I
haven't
think
heard,
it stacks up with some of the greatest albums that they did together in Deep Purple, in my
I would agree. And the lineup at this point is just killer. As you say, Pete, and you mentioned it as well, Simon, on paper it really shouldn't make sense because you do have a guitarist that doesn't fit. It shouldn't fit. It really fits. You know, Gillan, Tommy, Colin Towns on keyboards, John McCoy on bass, Mick Underwood on drums.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about Mick Underwood on drums. He's fantastic on this. Absolutely brilliant. So my second favourite, and yeah, I mean, Simon's done the same thing. We started off this idea, or certainly I did, thinking we're talking about Gillan, and then we would expand for the wild card. I'm glad that the Bray dog kind of threw a spanner in the works because it's made the conversation after this, I think, much more exciting, to be honest with you. But I'm going to stay within Gillan for my second favourite, and I've gone for Magic.
Oh.
Okay, so this is the sixth album they did, the last album they did. This is 1982. I think this is on Virgin, so we're kind of back in the real world in certain ways. And Bernie's gone. Yannick Gers is now on guitar here. This is his second album with the band, or well, Glory Road's a bit of a here, there, and everywhere kind of thing. But I just think that this really works. It really clicks because I think when you look at Glory Road, I like that album a lot. I like the live stuff. I like the studio stuff. It's a strange album. It's a new studio album and a live album put together in a double package. But they step, as a huge melodic rock fan, they step too far in that direction for me at certain times. You know, the keyboard sounds suddenly kind of go, what decade are we heading to now? And I like it. I don't necessarily want it from Gillan for whatever reason. Future Shock was definitely in the equation for me because that, I agree with Simon, that's a really, really good album. But Magic falls somewhere in the middle. It's melodic, the keyboards feel contemporary for the time, but it's hard hitting. It's much more focused, I think, than Glory Road was, and it just seems to really kind of just tick the boxes from me. I mean, it's just such a good band. I can't emphasize enough how good the band is. John McCoy and Mick Underwood, what a rhythm section. And John McCoy, I mean, he was a ginormous man, you know, in stature and all these kind of things, and a big presence. And I don't know why, in my head, he played with everybody. And he really didn't. He really, really didn't. He was one of those figures that seemed to be pictured in Kerrang all the time.
Yep.
Do you know, he was just, because he was such a ubiquitous figure, you saw the bald head, the goatee beard, the shades were always on, and he was like this. Do you know what I mean? He filled the page in Kerrang by himself. The other band members were all kind of like this behind him. And really, although he was involved with tons of things, in terms of actual bands, he was in Gillan, and he was kind of in Mammoth.
That's it.
Bands there's really not much else. Mammoth are underrated, by the way. The gimmick ruined that band. We'll talk about them at some point one of these days because there's just so much to talk about here. But yeah, I really like this, and I think it's strong all the way through. It just doesn't let down at all. There's moody stuff like "Living a Lie." I really like that. Gillan's voice is fantastic on it. But yeah, I just think, and this one is underrated. It's got one of those album covers that's nearly good. I like all the stuff that's round the edges, but the bit in the middle kind of looks a bit like something I drew at school. Do you know? Sorry, whoever it was that did the artwork there, because I probably couldn't do that at school. But there you go. And then there's this in the middle, and I don't know if I love it or hate it, to be quite honest with you. But it's just a cool package. I really like it. Yeah, Magic is my other favorite.
Like you said, a really underrated album.
Yeah,
And I would urge everybody who has been making fun of Yannick Gers in Iron Maiden for decades now to go listen to his guitar playing with Gillan at the latter stage of their career. He's a very good guitar player. He was very highly regarded when he was in Gillan.
absolutely. Yes, he was very much seen as a catch for Fish when he joined him, and he was seen as a catch for Maiden when he joined them too. And to be fair, for all he has had a lot of stick, Adrian Smith leaving should have been a catastrophe. It wasn't really. I know what I prefer, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, no,
They could have
100%.
fallen apart and they didn't.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. But I applaud you for picking that album. You know, it's funny because this band, we're strictly talking the Gillan Band, in my mind, never released a weak album or a
Mm.
mediocre album. They're all really strong. And I think if I, and I don't know because it was a long time ago, but when I ranked the Gillan albums, however many years ago that was, I might have put Magic at the bottom, but it's still really strong. It's one of those catalogs where every album you can make a case for being top, right? Or the top couple, right? So, yeah. All right. Well, the consensus is going to continue with Mr. Universe. Uh, this is great. This is really great. I don't know how much more I can say. You guys both have said lots of great things about it. There's not a weak song on here. There's some drop dead classics from this band, this lineup on here. Every song is a banger. Sorry, Steven, but this is full of rock. I mean, this is, and yeah, what do you call this? It's not quite metal.
Yeah.
It's heavier than hard rock.
Well,
Is this heavy rock? Is this what we call heavy rock, right?
I would say for the day at the time, I would suggest you call it heavy metal.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's, I mean, there's a reason why Martin Popoff and I so many times included the Gillan stuff in with the new wave of British heavy metal, because this was, even though Gillan was an entity beforehand, before that whole movement, most of these other guys were unknown at the time. And this band did all the same things that those new wave of British heavy metal bands did. They played everywhere. They released tons of singles and EPs and things like that. All the stuff, it was very similar. It was all part of the movement. But I mean, I get it. Veteran singer, I get it. But man, Secret of the Dance, oh, so good. The title track to me is basically this band's kind of like Child in Time. I mean, it's just so good. And those keyboards are great. The riffs and the solos are great. Bernie Torme is awesome on here. There's not a song I skip on this. It's just absolutely amazing. The production is great. The cover sucks. Man, I can't tell you how many times I've like said to myself, if this had a better cover, maybe, something would have happened with this, but it just looks so cheesy. And he's not, I mean, he didn't even dress like this when they played live. I mean, it just looks ridiculous.
I think even the album title with that picture is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I quite like the album title, but not with a picture of Ian
Not with
Gillan
that
with his
picture.
foot.
No, no. And I kind of like the logo. I always thought the Gillan
Yeah,
logo was kind of interesting. Right? So easy pick for, again, one of the best things he ever did. And I'm talking including In Rock and Fireball and Perfect Strangers and Machine Head and all that stuff, right? I think this is a career highlight for him and the rest of the band, because the band that's the thing. This is a band. As much as Ian is amazing on these albums and he's screaming Ian, right? But this is a band and it is a fiery, fiery band. Everybody's contributing. Really, really good. Picking my other one was kind of hard because they're all worthy. And I'm glad I picked this because it looks like nobody else did, but I'm going to go Glory Road, which I really like a lot. And again, album cover, eh, nothing going on there. It's like, come on, guys. But, Unchain Your Brain is a barn burner of a song. I mean, that's like almost like proto speed metal.
yeah.
Fast and furious, so good, Time and again, No Easy Way is what a bluesy anthem. I mean, that's just so good. Sleeping on the Job, just absolutely killer. On the Rocks crushes, Nervous crushes, Running, Wide Board, City Boy. I mean, just so good, just so good. And Ian is just screaming up a storm on here. And if you get, I don't know, do you have it on yours, Stephen? If you get the reissue, the Edsel reissue, you get a bonus disc, which is for Gillan fans only, which was the fan club stuff that they released that now available on CD, and all this cool bonus stuff, live tracks, totally awesome. Do you have that on that box? It's got to be on.
On here, I've got, so on the studio version, Spanish guitar as a bonus track, one bonus track.
That's it. All right.
And on the live album, you get Bite the Bullet, On the Rocks, Mr. Universe, Vengeance, and Smoke on the Water, which is not on the actual live album.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess not.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't put the for Gillan fans only stuff on there because
So is that, so if I is, oh no, Simon, I'll need to buy that too now. What am I missing?
Used to be able to get it separately. I don't know about it anymore, but they threw it on the back end, on the second disc here, which is really good. It was like a fan club thing only.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Glory Road and Mr. Universe are my two picks. So both amazing albums. Not for the maybe not so amazing stuff. Or maybe not. Knowing Simon,
So we're going for the least favorite.
yes.
Yes, it's what we do every time, Simon.
So by process of elimination.
I never remember the order in which
I know I'm pulling your leg.
And I do remember you saying in the last episode that we should, just the one, but I've gone for two.
Oh, no, it's two. It's definitely two.
I've gone for two. I'm going to reach over. I'm going to reach out and touch and get them. So yeah, and because the Gillan-verse is wider than you think, if you had been around for the last 20 years, he's only been in Deep Purple. He's done nothing else.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Nothing else that he's done. And Stephen, you touched on this earlier because when you like an artist and you're out in the wild and you think, oh, he's on that, I'm going to buy that, and you regret it sometimes. Or
Occasionally it does happen.
and you mentioned earlier, Steve. You mentioned earlier, Stephen, Jesus Christ Superstar. This gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Oh,
Man,
you're breaking my heart.
I remember at junior school how we had to sit there and learn and sing Hosanna. Hosanna, 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 for hours on end for the end of year thing. Hosanna, 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 Hosanna. So it's really brought back the heebie-jeebies, and I've never been able to get myself together with what my friend Bob calls singing sentences.
Oh, I'm keeping that. That's good.
There you go. That's why I think Les Mis is the worst film of all time, and I'm happy to stand by that. There's some good tunes. There are some good tunes on this, but what possessed me to be in that charity shop and go, Gillan's on this. I'm going to buy Jesus Christ.
You got to say he sounds amazing on it, though, doesn't he?
He does. He is Jesus. There you go. But yeah, no, that's going back in the wherever.
Charity shop.
No, I never get rid of things. Right. Another thing that strikes me after 5 years of this thing that we've been doing and well over 100 episodes, it's come to my attention that some people aren't paying attention. Yeah, and I wonder, what shit are they talking about now? And therefore, I have decided to recycle shit that I've already said before. Because nobody
will know.
Nobody will know. And when you buy things because they're on sale, you regret it to your dying day. I just once again have to say that this is amongst the worst things ever put out by a major band. It goes alongside Ozzy Osbourne's Undercover. I've listened to it again because I just because I thought I need to.
Better you than me.
Oh God. it's still a nice package, you know.
Oh, it looks great.
It's still nice. Still feels good, but oh God, it's awful. And I feel like, you know, can't do it. Can't say it enough how much I dislike this record and how much now that we've done this, you know, there's no way that we can shoehorn me listening to that ever again.
Again.
But it's
Just like
gonna.
how Steve Morse feels that is the last appearance on the Deep Purple record that he made, right?
Oh,
You know he
well,
didn't want to go out on that.
no wonder it looks like a prisoner, eh? Don't blame him.
Yeah, that album's terrible. I own it too, and I will never listen to that again, ever. Yeah.
Just saying. So yeah, those
I
are
didn't
my.
even think to pick that. I didn't even think to pick that.
There you go. The Gillan-verse is much wider than people
Yeah, well,
think.
because you go into Deep Purple. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
I'm not
What is
going
up?
to be careful for the next ones, but I just felt the urge to. 10.99 I paid for
Felt
that.
the urge to trash
Oh,
that album one last time.
10.90, 11 of my English pounds. That's £10 more than this. You know.
and I know which I'd rather listen to.
Oh,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes, indeed.
absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, there are not many real stinkers in this. I haven't included Purple in this section, but I'm delighted that Simon did because that album deserves to be highlighted yet again for just the absolute clunker that it is. So, what do I not like? What's my least favourite? Well, I'm going to show actually, and it's genuinely contained in this. I presume that I was sent this for review because I would not buy this shoddy piece of work here. Okay. Okay, so Ian Gillan, the Gillan Years, 3 disc set, the voice of Deep Purple. And up here, if you can see, there's the Gillan logo. Okay, so what Gillan albums are on here? There are 3 albums on here. So you have Naked Thunder, that's a solo album. You have Scarabus, that's an Ian Gillan
Band.
Band album. And you have Accidentally on Purpose. That's a Gillan Glover album. Okay, so
Holy moly, false advertising.
okay. But I mean, they wouldn't be stupid enough to back that up, would they? No, 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 no. If you can see the image in here, all I'll tell you is John McCoy and Janet Jayers are in here. Okay, so it's a picture of the band Gillan.
If it's
Okay,
there.
so I must have been sent this for review, but I will be honest enough to say that I don't have these 3 albums in any other format, CD, whatever it may be. But Accidentally on Purpose is a shambles. It's an absolute shambles of an album. It started supposedly as ideas that were left over from the House of Blue Light sessions. And Gillan and Glover decided these are too good to waste. Okay. I'm all for 2 rock gods thinking, you know what? We'll do a solo thing, so let's do something different. And I'm disappointed that I don't have the album here because I like the album cover. Go and seek it out, people. Thank you, Pete. The album cover's dead cool, okay? And you look at it and you go, that's good. I even quite like the quirky picture on the back. It's quite cool. It's quite good, right? Um, but really, it just goes far too far off beam to be anything. There's having fun and there's fanning about. These guys are fanning about. Do you know, when you make a rock and roll track like Via Miami in the 80s, okay, and it's filled with layered vocals, horn stabs. I mean, it was dated before they pressed stop of the recording. It's just so bad. The album starts okay. It's uneventful. I mean, there's a kind of languid synth hum, Gillan spoken vocals on Lonely Avenue, but then there's all these female backing vocals, which are good enough, but it just doesn't work and it doesn't meld. And you think, what exactly do I have here? This is just bizarre. Clouds and Rain and Evil Eye come across as if, I don't know, it's as if they're deep album cuts by Queen. They're all kind of quirky synths and bulging bass lines, and there's like electro beats on there. And really, at that point, you're going, this is so far so odd. It's not awful, but it's really not good. And then suddenly it all gets worse. It actually gets worse. It gets worse. She took my breath away That almost sounds like something that Paul Simon did for the Graceland album. I'm going, oh, that's way too hokey. I'm not doing that. Let's not finish that. Let's give it to somebody else
There's
to do.
world beat stuff on this album, like Paul Simon meets Peter Gabriel
Yeah,
meets something else. So
absolutely.
yeah,
It's all over the place. Can't believe you want to leave. And that is that kind of rock and roll shenanigans that Ian Gillan just wants to do. And his voice was made for it and he loves it. That's his influence and all that kind of stuff. But I just don't need to hear it. It doesn't work for me. Dislocated is 80s funky. It's Robert Palmer almost. What are we doing here? It's lazy. Do you know? Um, I really don't like anything on it, to be honest with you. And as if the album wasn't bad enough, this version and other versions come with bonus tracks, and you go, oh, thank God, maybe something that they hadn't quite worked to death in the studio, because that's what this feels like. It feels like somebody's worked this album to death. But you get checked or shecked, however you pronounce it, and it is a kind of quirky, funky, it's sample-tastic, but it's 80s sample-tastic. It's just nonsense. It's the sort of the 80s just coughed up without thinking. You get the Purple People Eater.
yeah, it's
I
horrific.
mean, we are so deep in the world of self-indulgence, it's unreal. And then you get what can only be described as the remarkably misguided. And I'm going to sing this now. I apologise to anybody that doesn't like this, but this is how it's sung on the album. Cayman Islands. And that is Ian Gillan. Don't do that, Ian. Please do not do that. Back then or now or at any time, accidentally on purpose, is a shambles. It's an absolute shambles of an album. But there you go. Second least favourite is probably the only one out of all this nonsense that I don't own. It's the Ian Gillan Band. It's Child in Time from 1976. Um, I much prefer Gillan the Band to the Ian Gillan Band. That's probably no surprise knowing my. Well, I was going to say my, and I do like some fusion, as we're discovering as the years go by, but my disconnect with some fusion. It's not fusion. The Ian Gillan Band is not fusion. It's a rock band trying to be something else. That's a rock band. Kind of being a fusion band, kind of being a bit jazzy, but it's really heavy handed. It's a rock band, and it just doesn't work for me. And when the best thing on, fun enough, the Child in Time album, I mean, we're doing this, guess who I am at this point, is actually a cover version of Child in Time that I will never listen to over, I don't know how many versions I've got of that elsewhere. I'll never listen to over it, and it's the best thing on the album. Thankfully, they did get better,
Yeah.
but the Ian Gillan Band is kind of half-assed in many ways. But Child in Time's terrible.
Yeah, I think the other two albums are much better. I don't think any of those three albums are great. And it's a shame because good players, all the guys, Ray Fenwick and all those, there's great players in the band. But you're 100% correct. I don't think they really had a clue what they were doing. It's like, from what I understand, based on what I've read, Ian wanted to do another heavy rock type thing, but he brought in all these guys who wanted to play fusion. So there was this kind of like butting of the heads, and they couldn't quite figure it out. And that's how the albums sound. They're very disjointed. There's some good stuff on there. He sounds fine. There's good playing on it, but it's just like I
It's,
rarely visit those albums.
especially the first one.
Yeah,
And
the first one, yeah, this
I'm
is a
going to say,
mess. Yeah, yeah.
how good is this album art? Okay. I absolutely love the album cover here. This is clear here. Talking about it. I'm just showing that because I want to show it. I love this album cover,
Yeah.
but it's exactly what you've said. Is they just don't meet in the middle at all.
Yeah.
It's a fusion band being forced to play rock with a singer that's being forced to sing fusion. Does neither of those things. It just I don't know how to describe it. It's not fusion. It's not jazz. It's not rock. It's none of those things.
No, it's none of them. Uh, yeah, I don't know what you call it. I've had those and I've been listening to them forever, and I still don't know what you call them. And they've been labeled as progressive rock and fusion and art rock and hard rock. I'm like, and there's elements of all this, but it's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think that compilation you showed is hilarious that they're listing it as Gillan stuff, and it's like there's no Gillan album on there. Yeah, it's
The
yeah,
shoddy stuff that gets put out, honestly.
yeah. And it's not like those are three great albums either. I mean, well, Naked Thunder's pretty good. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Naked Thunder's okay, yeah, but the other two are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So for my two, God, I could even give you three. I just remembered one that I totally forgot about. But a accidentally on purpose is one of them. Yeah, this is not good. I mean, I picked this up because I love both of these guys, and my good buddy Martin Popoff loves this album. And I mean, this is mostly boring, generic pop. There's world music on here. There's this kind of like very formulaic bluesy fare that doesn't really interest me at all. A couple albums kind of rock. You mentioned Evil Eye, at least that rocks. I
Mhm.
Can't Dance to That's pretty heavy. Telephone Box kind of rocks, but and Ian sounds really good, but I just don't get the direction of this. And it sounds like either they put this shit together really, really quickly and just threw whatever they had together, or they spent way too much time trying to figure it out, and it just didn't work. Whatever method they chose, it just doesn't work. I went and listened to this again today. I knew I was going to pick it. I listened to it again today, and I'm like, yeah, I don't even know why I still own this. I really don't, because I'll probably never listen to this again ever. So whatever. The other one I don't own, and that is One Eye to Morocco from 2009. So he's done a few albums in the 2000s in between Purple albums and things like that. In most cases, he worked with Steve Morris, who played guitar with him on Naked Thunder and Toolbox, who's very, very good, by the way. But he started to move away from doing stuff that he was doing with Purple, more kind of like blues rock type of stuff that really doesn't really rock all that much. And he's always like, oh, I'm going to save guitar solos and keyboard solos. We'll save that for Purple. That's where you get all that. So I'm just going to do these kind of songs that I want to do. One Eye to Morocco is not terrible by any stretch, but I just don't get excited by anything on it. It's very kind of laid back, like I said, bluesy rock with Ian doing his kind of like, I'm the elder statesman type of thing. I think you mentioned it, Stephen. He does this kind of like lazy vocal thing and maybe this is kind of the music that he really, really wants to do, but it's not all that exciting. And if you're a Deep Purple fan or you're a fan of Ian in general and all the other stuff he's done in the past, I find like those couple of albums that he did later in his career, and as Simon mentioned, he hasn't done a solo album in quite some time. The Gillan's In thing I think is pretty good. That's
Mhm.
not too bad. But again, he's bringing in guest players and they're redoing some old classics and stuff. So, but I just find that One Eye to Morocco to me is just pretty just generic and boring. And the one I didn't think of, which is fucking terrible, is Cherkazoo and Other Stories, which is like archival recordings of stuff that he did back in the 60s and early 70s. And a lot of it's like old school rock and roll and rockabilly. And it's just like, yeah, forgettable. I own it because I have like everything he's ever done, and for the most part. But yeah, it's like something I've probably listened to like maybe 5 times in my life, and I'm kind of like, oof, why would you even release some of this stuff? But if you're an Ian Gillan completist, I guess you got to. But it's not really very good. So I gave you three. I cheated a little bit today. So there's my bottom ones.
I remember reading reviews of that one. Have never heard it.
Yeah, I would say don't bother. It's really not good.
Mm.
It's really not good. Wild card time, Simon.
Ah, yes. By the way, the Bray Dog approves of you cheating against
I
you
can't
hold
let you have all the glory, man. It's like,
all the glory road. I see what you did
yes,
there.
I
Okay.
set you up for that perfectly.
Thank you. Thank you. Two things uh, spring to mind at this point. Number one, a wise man once said, we all hear things differently.
Yes.
And number two, do you know who's absolutely the best talking head on Sea of Tranquility? I've got so much respect for this man. Do you know who it is? It's Martin Popoff, because Martin Popoff knows. Martin Popoff is aware of the sheer genius that is at least side one of Accidentally on Purpose. I love this. I've loved it since I got it, and I used to put it in my Walkman and go up and down the valleys and stuff like that.
I should put this in a box going over to Lancashire, is what
Yeah,
I
I'm
should.
still waiting for the box. I've never actually seen it on CD anywhere, but stick it in the box. You know you want to. Oh,
I probably should because I don't need this.
it's just absolutely lovely. Yes, it's like it's got stabby synths and it's got pretend reggae and everything that I should really hate. But it's so warm. Produced in 97 different studios as well. It's so it just hangs together so well. I genuinely like this record. I really do. And if you want to hear Ian Gillan sounding not like he's in Deep Purple, go straight to it. Martin knows.
In your defense, Bray Dog,
Woof.
Ian Gillan has many times over the years suggested that that is his favourite album that he's ever
Yeah,
done.
yes, he has. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't just during album promotion, okay, because we've heard that a million times. Many years down the line, he still cites that album as the one that he really likes listening to himself on. I'm like, wow,
He
okay
knows.
then.
He knows. He really does. But my other wild card, and given what Pete's just said about how much he dislikes rock and roll and stuff, my other wild card, and I genuinely did get this because it was really cheap, but it's also the most listened to thing that I've listened to. Oh God, that's a crap sentence, isn't it? That it's the thing that I have listened to the most apparently on Amazon while I've been driving around and walking around. Are you ready for this, kids? That's right. It's Ian Gillan and the Javelins. Yeah. Look at that.
Wow.
You know. Oh, it's just too much monkey business. It's like being in a working men's club in the 1970s. It's only make believe. Ah, that's brilliant. But it's and I mean this in a good, genuinely good way. Something else. Oh, so much better than the Sex Pistols, and that's not saying much, is it? Let's dance, roll over, Beethoven. Money. I've never liked that song, but I like it on this. It's really good. Somebody is having a shit ton of fun on this one, and it's that man there and his mates. I really,
Look at that
really,
hairdo, huh? Woohoo!
yeah, it kind of reminds me of, sometimes I think I had this like really Dickensian kind of childhood, like as many of us probably can, at least Edwardian, as many of us did in the UK, that grew up in the early 70s, we didn't have an inside toilet till about 1980, but we certainly didn't have a colour television for ages, and we used to sit there and listen to Radio Blackburn on a Sunday morning, and all these songs by the actual original artist were just played over and over again. Yes, Stephen.
Did they sound like they were dicking about?
No.
No, the originals don't. Okay, I'm just clarifying that because
Ian's
I
not.
mean,
Ian loves this shit. Ian's a fan.
yeah, absolutely. Well done, Ian.
Dicking around, maybe? No, dicking around. But yeah, they I used to really love those songs, and probably at the time when I was having them forced on me because there was nothing else whatsoever to do. I was thinking, God, I hate these. You know, I probably should go and buy some Jim Reeves. Yeah, my knowledge of Jim Reeves is so much better than you would think. So yeah, I probably should go and do that, shouldn't I? Yeah, but anyway,
No.
I thoroughly recommend it. It's just so much fun and about 8 seconds long. Yeah, they are short
The
songs.
songs on Cherkazoo are also really, really short. It wouldn't surprise me if some of that stuff is on the Cherkazoo set. I should go grab that. With Stephen, while you're talking, I'm going to go grab it.
Okay. Yeah. See, this is an interesting thing because we have often, and you often, touch on the funsies, and that's not as dodgy as that may sound. Okay, you've never touched on my funsies, but you know what I mean, right? So there's a difference between listening to a band and going, do you know what, they're having lots of fun, and listening to an album or a band or a project and going, do you know what, they are fucking around, and they expect me to pay money to hear them do that. And okay, I'm sure that the Bray Dog picked that up second hand for probably about 17 pence. Okay, and any more than that, and you were robbed. Okay, because
Which
I've
one?
forgotten about that album. It's so bad.
Which one?
The Javelins. It's just.
It's good. There's two of them. There's two Javelins albums, aren't
Oh
there?
well, I've heard that one because have they both got the horrible faces that like suggest are the monkeys or something on them.
Right in front
Yes,
of me.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh,
The other one's upstairs. Yeah, but yeah,
Simon,
absolutely.
do you have any of these songs on your on that album? Do you have Monster in Paradise, The Bull of Barantis, Hogwash, Driving Me Wild, Donkey Ride Dream, Trying to Get to You, Ain't That Loving You, Some Baby, Driving Me Wild, Music in My Head, You Make Me Feel So Good, She Called
No,
Softy. No, none of those.
I think you're.
that needs to go in the box as well, doesn't it? A
Well,
real.
I can't because it's got
Oh no.
toolbox and naked
Okay,
Gun under it
just
here.
just just like get a Stanley knife.
Take that bit of CD out.
So the bit that's that it's
It's like
on.
one of those Japanese 3-inch CDs that were popular for about 6 seconds.
Well, are you saying, Stephen, about people dicking around and having they're having fun and we aren't? Are you
Yes,
saying that this is the oral equivalent or a similar thing to like, I don't know, Beulah Quo?
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, a bowl of coal, a bowl of bowl of coal, a bowl of bowl of coal, a bowl of bowl of coal. But I think the difference with Bula Quo is that they're kind of going, do you know what? Let's lark around and we'll all lark around. Whereas Ian Gillan, when he larks around, goes, isn't this good? I think he thinks it's all really great. And I really do, Pete, think you're underestimating how much of this kind of shit he's recorded over the years.
Yeah.
Do you know? But there you go. Anyway, moving on. Sorry, that's turned into my least favourites, and didn't choose any of those. There we are. Right, wild cards. I'll try and be quite quick here because we're making this a very long show the way we're going. I very nearly just went with Live at Reading by Gillan because this is really good.
It
It's
is
an
really good.
excellent representation of this band. I prefer this over some of the other live stuff that is out there, but I decided that that would be unfair on everything else because there is good stuff in the catalogue. I will be honest enough to say that other than Naked Thunder on this abomination of a collection that I have here, I don't own any Ian Gillan solo stuff. I used to on cassette. I had Toolbox, I had Naked Thunder, may have had something else as well. And the fact that I don't own them now would tell you that I like them enough to copy them and listen to them, but not enough to then replace them when I binned 600 double-sided cassettes, usually with two albums on each of those in one go. And there were things out of there, a lot of things out there I now own, are a lot that went by the wayside. The Ian Gillan stuff went by the wayside. Not bad, just doesn't really do it for me. I have kicked the Ian Gillan band hard, and I've kicked them hard because they didn't know what they were. It's not just that we didn't know what they didn't know what they were. But I'll tell you what, when they played live, they knew what they were. Okay, live at Budokan and live at Budokan 2, this is a rock band. This is a rock band with some jazzy fusion, not really fusion, there's no fusion in there, some jazzy elements. And man, is it good. It's a completely different beast when they are allowed to just go and have fun and spark off each other and just rock out in a way that the albums constrain them into this little hole of this is what we're trying to do and these are the things we'll have to kind of get to get there. Playing live, they don't bother with any of this stuff. And these were initially only came out in Japan. These are Japanese ones that I've got here. It has been reissued on CD with more songs and full shows, or not the full show, depends what you get, what you see, and all this kind of stuff. But these are great live albums. This is a band suddenly firing on all cylinders that had no right to. The Gillan Band stuff suddenly is potent. It's in your face. It has energy. Things like Clear Air Turbulence, Mercury High, Moneylender. Ah, Wallop. Where did that come from? Because
Moneylender is great.
isn't it? But
Great.
in the studio, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, all the live versions so
But
much
the
better.
live version, and then they do purple stuff, and you go, oh, don't do that. Oh, yes, please. I actually do that. Child in Time, Smoke on the Water, Woman from Tokyo. Oh, I tell you what, they are better than some purple versions that I've heard. They are absolutely on fire on this. And Ian Gillan's having great fun. He's absolutely having great fun. It's really, really good. I can't tell you the last time prior to doing this exercise that I listened to any Ian Gillan Band studio albums. These come out probably a couple of times a year because they're just so much fun. They are so much fun. And if you haven't heard them, I would implore you to. And to me, it's only Ian Gillan Band you need.
Yeah. Yeah, live they were very, very good. I agree. Good choice. All right, for my pick for wild card, I'm going to go with 1991's Toolbox. Right there, Slim Mill. There's that Chirkazoo abomination I told you about, and this is Naked Thunder, which I like quite a bit as well. So this is after he left Purple. So of course, or actually right around the same time of Battle Rages On, right around that time. So, or maybe like right in between. I'm trying to remember exactly the dates, right? So it's either right before Battle Rages On or right after, something like that. But anyway, this is during his like kind of collaboration with Steve Morris, not to be confused with Steve Morse. This is this very good guitar player that he wrote and worked with quite a bit. And this is probably the heaviest album of the albums they did together. It's very much raucous, metallic, hard rock, There's not much that bluesy stuff on here. Morris is terrific on this record. You got Hang Me Out to Dry, which also has Leslie West on it, who's cranking on that song. But like the title track, Toolbox is anthemic. It's heavy. Dirty Dog is kind of sleazy, kind of like some of the latter period hair metal, like kind of like maybe Lynch Mob, that sort of thing. Candy Horizon could have been an old Gillan Band song. Really, really good. Pictures of Hell is also really heavy. And again, either one of those tracks could have come off of Mr. Universe or any of those albums. And Ian is like screaming up a storm on this album. I really think, if you look at like Ian Gillan's career and you look at when he stopped doing all the screaming stuff, which probably by like Perpendicular, that had kind of ended. I think whatever he had left went out with this album and maybe the tour. Because he is like, if you like hearing Gillan scream into like heavy material all over this record, Bed of Nails is great on here. Gassed Up is lots of fun. I think it's a really strong hard rock record. I've always really liked it. Out of the two, that or and Naked Thunder, I kind of like Toolbox a little bit more, but they're both really strong for me. So that's my wild card. Toolbox. Don't skip out on it if you've never checked it out. It's really, really good. Here we have it. Are we knee deep yet, fellas? We might be up to the chin at this point, right?
I think with some of the things that have been chosen for this show, I think I'm over my head.
I'm over my head. Good song. We are just full of segues tonight, huh?
There
Holy.
you go.
All right, Stephen, where are we going next time here on the UK Connection?
Well, if you thought this was wild and wacky, okay, in 2 weeks' time, and this is, well, is this what it sounds like? I don't really know. We're going to the world of AOR melodic rock, and we're going to do that thing where we do a classic album, we do an underground classic album, and we do that. Did they make an AOR album? As in, it's a non-AOR act that some of us, I would maybe go as far as to say one of us, is suggesting maybe made an, well, possibly. Yes, Simon?
One of us and the people.
And the people. Okay. I'll let the Bray Dog make that a plural, and I'm all happy with that. I'll just say that the Bray Dog insists that the final album I'll mention here has been requested more than any other. Is that correct?
Wow.
For us to talk about on this show. So the three albums that we will talk about, the classic, which I have never heard, is Tour de Force by 38 Special. Okay, we talk about them a lot on the show. I'm going to get knee deep in them. Okay, all right. The underground classic is the self-titled album by Tall Stories. Okay, and they made an AOR album is I'm No Hero by a certain gentleman called Mr. Cliff Richard. Okay, that according to the Bray Dog is, I quote, what the people want. Okay, so the people appear to have
what they want.
It will unclutter my direct messages a lot.
Okay, and if for no other reason,
we listen, folks. We listen.
We do, yes. You've made me listen to that. Sorry,
I'm sitting here thinking that how heartbroken I'm going to be if Steven doesn't like that 38 Special album, Simon. That's what I'm thinking right now.
When he doesn't like it.
I'm not going to be happy.
I mean, we're doing an AOR melodic rock show, and we've got a southern rock band and a pop star. At least the other guy sang for Journey. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you, folks. We give the people what they want.
We do. We try anyway.
Yes.
Maybe we don't give each other what we want, but hey. All right. Well, so that's coming up in 2 weeks here on the UK Connection. You guys can be back with from the UK Connection between now and then, probably, right?
We are. Yes, we are recording one next week, Simon.
There you go. So see, you don't have to wait 2 weeks to see these two fine gentlemen. In fact, you don't even have to wait more than 24 hours to see this guy right here, because Simon will be back tomorrow with a ranking the albums of Power Quest. And I have already watched the episode. I think it's mighty, mighty fine. So if you are a fan of power metal and you want to hear Simon talking out in the wild about all the albums and ranking them of Power Quest, tune in tomorrow for that. It's a wonderful episode. You'll enjoy it, as he has thankfully given me a week off from doing ranking the album shows, and I am loving every second of it. But yeah, I'll be back next week. Doing what? I have no idea. We'll figure it out. So till then, visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already and click on that notification. Steven, are you on Instagram?
No,
No? Simon is. I am. We got to get you involved in that. You're right. Get off that stupid X thing and get on Instagram, my
I'm not.
friend.
I'm not on X. I really. Let's let the show finish. I don't really do social media at all.
Okay, well, you were doing the Instagram thing, right, for a while.
No,
No?
no.
No? Wow. Okay. All right. I could have sworn we've been talking about that for
We
ages.
were on Twitter before, many moons ago, before it evolved into
Well, that's what I
something.
meant. That's why I said X. So yeah, but okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
we were on Twitter before. I've been X quite some time ago.
okay, all right, cool. No, I don't do that either. So I've been like forced in, not forced, but I've my arm's been twisted to do Instagram, and now I've been doing it. It's fun. I just post
That that
nonsense.
that, that Pete is called forced.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's fun though. I don't, there's nothing meaningful going on there. It's just fun. Everybody loves it. Gary Joyce is always telling me how much fun and what Pete posts on Instagram is. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, Gary loves it. That's all that matters, right? The principal, if the principal likes it, we are all safe, right?
Absolutely.
We need to get in the good graces of the principal. So, I know
He doesn't follow
we know
me.
he's watching right now.
He doesn't like me.
He
Gary's
doesn't
not
like
like
you?
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
Gary doesn't.
Gary, why are you not following Simon? Come on, get with the program.
Does
You,
he not want to see
principal has
pictures
been
of
following all the
dogs?
people here on the channel.
Does he not like dogs? Does he not? Hmm?
Of course he does.
Maybe you realize that your feed is about to be just continual woof.
Wolf.
He's going to follow you after the Power Quest episode. I have a feeling. So, Gary, that's your assignment for today. So, anyway, did I say all that other stuff? Whatever.
You did. You
All the
did.
links are down below. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks for the three of us. Back here tomorrow for Simon and back next week for Simon and Steven. I'm Pete. Thanks for watching for Simon Bray and Steven Reid. Have a good rest of the weekend, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for Power Quest with Simon. Till then, have a good rest of the day, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.